So just to start off, um, it's been a very long journey for me. I had severe childhood trauma, sexual abuse trauma as a child, domestic violence trauma, emotional neglect, and even poverty and oppression. So it was a long journey in trying to get help. And after I had a divorce at the age of 33, I just turned 50. Many of you all know that. That's why I'm doing this in celebration of my Jubilee birthday. I want to take everything that I've learned and studied and grown and bring it to the masses. So at the age of 33, my husband left me for another woman. And it was very devastating to me, and all of the emotions that I was able to suppress up to that point kind of exploded into a volcano, and I started having really bad spirals that began to affect my work. And I was a director of operations in corporate environment. So I looked everywhere for help, talk therapy, books, energetic help. And over the span of about 16 years, I took everything that gave me traction and I studied it. I got trained in it. I got certified in it. I just wanted to bring it to other people because it was so hard for me to find the things that worked. So everything that worked for me is what I'm bringing to you. That includes clinical hypnotherapy, major work in the subconscious, internal family systems, major work in the subconscious. I went to grad school and got my master's in counseling, but found internal family systems during the last year of grad school. And by the time I graduated, had so much benefit from IFS that I decided to focus in the subconscious and not get licensed as a talk therapist. So just to let you know, I'm called a coach, I'm called a practitioner, but I'm not called a therapist. So to start in your workbook, triggers are emotional reactions that are just meant to get our attention. Emotions are a messaging service that are just meant to get our attention. So at the beginning of your workbook, in step 1, it says analyze the trigger. Well, wait, what is the trigger? Why do we even have triggers? Where do they come from? We don't even know why these things knock us sideways. Mine used to even be television commercials. I couldn't even watch TV because a commercial could come up that would trigger me and send me into a spiral. So this is where it gets fun, and my drawing is awful. So perfectly imperfect once again. But I like to draw it out so you see the sequence. When we are young children, before the age of 7, even before the age of 10, we don't have logical reasoning brain. So here's a lovely picture of the brain here, my kidney bean. So the logical reasoning portion of our brain is right here in the prefrontal cortex. Okay, that's logical reasoning. Does not come online, does not exist until the age of between 7 to 10. Starts between 7 and 10. Okay, so what's going on before the age of 7 to 10? Wow, we're walking around as short humans with no life experience, no logical reasoning, no life experience. And we're born with the subconscious. I call the subconscious is really what it is. It's the human instinct Here's the key word: survival brain. We're born knowing automatically how to suck a nipple and how to remain connected, requiring our primary caregivers to take care of us, to nourish us, to defend us, and to give us shelter. We know that we're not born as a horse. A colt is born, legs hit the ground, it takes off running across the field. Humans know through evolution, it's in our DNA. We know that we can't survive without our primary caregivers. So this subconscious is at the back of our head, at the base, right there. We know as young children that we need to be accepted by our primary caregivers and not rejected out of our tribe because we can't survive. So we walk around the first 7 to 10 years in the subconscious mind, basically in a hypnotic trance state. Theta brainwave state, slow brain waves, open like a sponge, absorbing all kinds of information. So anytime we're told, you don't have to have a childhood filled with trauma. You could have had the best parents ever. But we take in information walking around as short humans with no life experience and no logical reasoning. We take in information that keeps us accepted by our primary caregivers, which means that we learn how to act, what emotions to suppress, what to say, what to not say, how to dress, how to walk, how to talk, you name it, up to 7 to 10 years to be accepted. So in that time, what happens is parts that are us, that want to explore, that want to play, that want to look at butterflies on the flowers instead of hurrying up to go to preschool, get disconnected. Parts disconnect from their original roles so that they can live life and behave and look and act to be accepted. Okay. So then what happens? I'm using up all this paper. So then what happens? Parts disconnect. And take on beliefs about themselves and the world. These beliefs that the world has to be this way, we have to act this way, we have to suppress this about ourselves. That creates negative emotions. Because they're disconnected from our core essence, our self energy. The negative emotions is what gets triggered by anything that looks the same as the original pain. But of course, we're adults. We have the logical reasoning brain. This doesn't make sense. Why, when somebody gives me any kind of feedback, any kind of criticism, that I start spiraling into this triggered negative emotion that I'm not good enough, that I don't deserve this, that I'm not worthy? It goes back to the core beliefs. And there's more under the core beliefs. There's unmet needs under the core beliefs. So in step 1 of the workbook with Analyze the Trigger, what we're doing is we're going to look at an issue in life that takes us on In IFS, we call it a trailhead. It takes us on a path, on a rabbit hole, down into what's underneath the trigger. So that's why step one is, what were we thinking when the trigger first occurred? So that helps us slow time down. Knee-jerk reactions happen really quickly when a trigger is activating a core belief of really what an emotional pain from long ago. I call it a core wound. So what were we thinking? The boss said she wasn't happy with how I conducted a project. So then we go behind that. What's the story? It's narrative in the workbook. What's the story that's being told inside you when you even just think of that? When the boss told me that I didn't do the project correctly, the story is, nobody understands me. Nobody understands the way that I work. Nobody understands that I actually know what I'm doing. You don't have to check on me, right? So that's a story underneath. The next step, 3, examine the evidence. So let's see, is the story being told inside of our, well, I lost my paper, the logical reasoning brain? Is the story aligned with what is true? Is it true in other areas? Is it true with the boss? Is it true maybe at home with your spouse? Number 4, feel the emotion underneath it. When we start looking at the story underneath the trigger, we're going to feel the negative emotions that start to come up. It could be disconnection, it could be sadness, it could be anger, frustration. We want to feel the emotion, notice it, acknowledge it, because when we actually slow down and do this U-turn inside of us, turn our attention inside to what we're feeling, that's when the emotion is like, oh, you see me, you hear me. This emotion is trying to get a message to us. When we start to listen, it'll start to relax back. That's going to allow us to drop into the body. Notice the sensation in the body that's underneath the emotion. And we want to listen to it in step 6. What's the emotion telling us? Nothing's fair. I'm not understood. I don't have a voice. And as we listen to the emotion and the message it's giving us, then we start to try to get a little bit of space between it. Because this is what's really fascinating about connection. There has to be a little bit of space in order to connect. Like I tell my clients, if somebody's standing on my head, I can't hug them. I need that emotion, that underlying part of me that's telling the story, to be in front of me so I can then love them, show it compassion, understand it and appreciate it, as in step 8. And then we want to ask, what do you need? This is a key question underneath the emotion, underneath the story, underneath the belief, because under every core belief, under every 100%, there's an unmet need. When we get to the unmet need that's underneath of that emotion, underneath of that belief, then we start to know what it is that we can start to give this part of us that it didn't get before. Some, I don't know, theories, processes call this reparenting, inner child parts. Some call it shadow work, bringing the light to the shadow. Whatever you call it, it's giving that part of you what it didn't get. And it disconnected and created the survival strategy so that it would try to not need that anymore in life so that it would be accepted? That's a lot to follow. I know I'm giving you a lot at one time. That's okay. And we're going to do questions soon.